All right, players, time for a little West Coast action right here in the Midwest at Crossroad Cues. Steve Serna Custom Cues. Steve Serna Custom Carmeli Shop Cues. Could actually call them the Carmeli and Cohen Shop, and I'll explain that to you in just a minute. So, for those of you that follow our business or our page, you have seen in recent times that we've sold some Carmeli Shop Cues, just like these, made by Ariel's long-term apprentice and very close friend, Mr. Steve Serna. These are signed by Steve Serna. They are not signed by Ariel Carmeli, just to clarify. But if you want the next best thing from a Carmeli, you're not going to get any closer, because the apple did not fall far from the tree. This is made by, are made by Steve Serna in California. And these cues were started, they were turned down in Ariel's shop. So Ariel Carmeli actually worked with Steve in the building process of these cues. They've got the exact same pin as a Carmeli, that's the 3/8-10 modified. This is wood that came out of the Carmeli shop, and actually Steve builds the kielwoods with Ariel in the shop. So you're getting identical quality, the same taper, the same size as an Ariel Carmeli, but for a fraction of the price. And Steve is not a novice. Steve has been building cues now for quite a few years. He does the same type of finish also. So every time we are fortunate enough to get a batch of his cues, we sell out of them very fast. We are his official online dealer here in the States. As a promotional offer on the last couple of batches, he has allowed us to sell the cues for the same price they would normally go for with a kielwood and a maple. Normally you're going to spend at least a few $100s to get a kielwood. Depending on who you get it from, you could spend $300 to $600. These are great shafts, by the way. I am crazy about playing with kielwood shafts. I like it how I feel like it makes me a little bit more accurate without being super duper low deflection. Some of you like that real low deflection as far as carbon. I like the feel of wood with a little bit less deflection. This is a nice dark roasted one here. So let me run through these again. They each come with 2 shafts. They're brand new. They're unchalked. They're unplayed. The price is the price. These are extremely good deals. I should be a little bit higher on these because his wrapped cues go for the same money. And technically, when you're using a wrapless, when you're using more wood to make a wrapless cue, it should be more expensive. But anyway, number one is olive wood on the forearm, and that is Coco Bolo on the handle. Look at that beautiful Coco Bolo. Number 2, that is Mun Ebony. And then you have a spalted hackberry handle. I've not seen one just like this before, but it is super cool. Spalted hackberry, and that's the one that's got that really dark roasted kielwood. Truth be known, most people's preference when it comes to the playability is going to be the lighter kielwood. I just like the darker ones. I think they look super cool, right? They look fire. Number 3, that is Mexican Coco Bolo with a Bacote slick handle. Notice all the ring work that you get in these cues, by the way. Some of them are trimmed with silver. You've got beautiful ring work. Again, they are going to mirror the hit of a Carmeli because Steve built them with Ariel Carmeli. These cues were actually finished. Just the finish work itself was sprayed in Eddie Cohen's shop in California because Ariel moved to Virginia, and Steve now works with with Eddie Cohen in his shop because Ariel moved. That's why I said you can call them the Carmeli and then Cohen Shop Cues by Steve Serna. Number 5, staying alive with number 5, that is Mun Ebony with a tricked out looking olive wood handle. And you got multi-position ring work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 position ring work counting the shaft. The specs are all on the post. These are all cord cues. They're cored with various different woods. Steve is a tactician when it comes to picking a wood species and knowing what wood to core it with to make it perform on the table. All the weights, all the specs are there. There are no weight bolts in these cues. If you wonder why one is a little bit heavier than the other, it just has to do with the species of the wood and what he cored them with. So there you go. Steve Serna, Carmeli Shop Cues. Again, made with Ariel Carmeli in his shop and then finished in Mr. Eddie Cohen's shop. You can't get any better for the money. They're going to sell real fast. You notice that I've got them numbered 1, 2, 3. I was even thinking that was the 4 ball. I got to get rid of these TV balls, by the way. I can't stand the purple 5. I'll be like one of those pro players shooting the wrong ball on TV, right? One of the juniors that did that recently. I believe that was Joey Tate. I can't blame him, because when you look at it, if you're an old school player like me from the 90s, you're going to think that's the 4 ball, but it's actually the 5, right? So just go with the flow here, guys. 1, 2, 3, 5, okay? So if you like number 5, that's the purple one, obviously. If you pick one of these cues, we can ship it out to you. Our shipping for the second day air is $50. If you want it overnighted, there's an extra charge, but they are not going to last long. High quality here, guys. Look at that ebony, okay? Look at that cocoa bolo. This wood is what we like to call triple A+ quality and grade. Ariel, who taught Steve, is one of the cue makers that is notorious for being very picky with his wood, and you can see that a mile away. So there you go. Steve Serna Cues, available at crossroadcues.com. When they hit my website, if you want to check out with a firm based on the number that you're getting, you can finance it, you can pay now, you can buy now and pay later with a firm, or we do in-house layaway. You can contact me through my number on the post. Send me a message, send me an email, send me a telegram. Just don't wait or don't delay. If you blink, these bad boys from the West Coast are going to be gone with the wind. CrossroadCues.com.